Hello and welcome back, you beautiful mole rats. Today we are back with it. Um, Last game we had a lot of success doing a lot of things, but now we're going to
Open
move
the
on.
bloody gate!
So
Nobody gets in!
we are finally
Several
moving
orders!
towards to the actual
The
camp.
pack of
I'm
goblins will be
super
on us any
excited just because
second!
this is one of my favorite little
What's
portions
going
of
on?
the Act
Goblins
1
are on
in
our
which we
tail! Open the gates,
do a lot of
everyone,
things
now!
with
You let
you know,
goblins
the
here!
tieflings, with
Where
the
is the
druids,
druid?
and then with the goblins. And since we're siding with the
Please!
absolute
There's no
playthrough,
time!
I'm really curious how this is gonna pan out. With this first fight, I simply am just going to
By the nine hells!
fight
Open the
the
gates!
goblins because I believe this is a mandatory fight. So I'm just waiting now to try to get a little bit closer. I tried sneaking past the camp to see if I could, somehow just fight the camp, but unfortunately I just wasn't able to. So I had to just fight all the goblins and do it this way per usual. There's no other really way to get past this little part, so this is like a mandatory fight. So right now I am just simply fighting all the goblins, just going through the motions. This fight actually did take quite a little while, just because for some reason everyone was missing their attacks. Like, I tell you, like every attack was miss, 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 2 damage, miss, critical miss, critical miss. So it was quite a unfortunate long fight, and of course I killed my guys pretty fast, but I do believe that a lot of the goblins were just murdering everyone, and then all of the adventurers were slowly whittling down. So I came down, I helped a little bit. They did get quite a bit of con saves near the end, but this part of the fight I was just pretty much clearing everyone up. That guy had 4 HP left, so I was like, okay, well Zevlar has this. He critically misses. I'm like, okay, well that's fine. She critically misses too then. I'm like, okay, whatever, I don't really care that much. Like, let's just continue. Will misses. I'm like, okay, whatever. He hits actually, which was good, but pretty much everyone was missing. Right here, the game was just not doing anything. So I started missing as well, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, man. I believe this fight took in total about 3 minutes of real time. Which isn't honestly that long, but if you think about it, how fast this fight should have been, it took a lot longer than it had to. Everyone was just missing, was shooting everyone. As you can see, most of everyone's attacks missed, except for like the main people. And I believe I missed quite a bit on this guy too, the goblin boss, until I eventually finally got a hit on him and finished him off.
Inside! All of you! More may follow! Open the gate!
I just started looting the goblins. I put them in the chest for later usage. I couldn't pick up the chest like I thought I would, so I just decided to leave it there for now and then come back for it when I needed it. Just so I always had some dead bodies, you know. I then went to see this dialogue, which was a very... I love this dialogue between these two. I found out something that I never knew before, that if you just watch the dialogue and he punches him, something cool happens. So I'll just let that happen. Since I'm playing a drow still, quite a bit of people are super racist to drows in this game.
Ask for any goddamn help.
And so a lot of the dialogue options are very funny because there's some areas where I can't even go to, and there's other areas where most of them will have a not as good as a reputation. So he knocked him out right there. So now I'm just waiting for this dialogue to finish right here.
No one leaves my people
Again,
out cold.
it's not that bad. I really like the dialogue here because usually I persuade them because I play a lot of charisma-based builds.
Was a mistake.
And
no amount of gold can put right.
This is the first time I've actually seen
I'd
him
rather face
knocked
another
out.
round of goblins than stay in this pit.
So after he leaves, I then go to pickpocket the body, and when you pickpocket the body, you just could continue to pickpocket it because there's no one around, and he's unconscious. So I'm just gonna pretty much succeed on most of these checks. So I pickpocket his things, and then I don't wake him up. I just go on my way because I'm like, you know what? I'm a bad guy. Not the worst guy, but I'm a bad guy. So I just leave. I then go up here to kill the assassin real quick just for some XP. This is a very easy fight. I wasn't really that worried about it because I still had my buff. I then put on my other buff and I went over there to fight the assassin. I did very nice damage to start off with, so I was like feeling really confident that he would die very quickly. So I continued to attack, but unfortunately, this is where all my problems started to happen. I was getting a little bit unlucky. You saw that I missed one attack. Well, I continued that train, and I believe as he's running towards me, he doesn't get to attack obviously, but he puts on his poison. Well, he should next turn if he had not already. And I attack, I miss. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I use my spores. He gets saved on it, so I'm just like, okay, well, let me see if I can try to push him off. And apparently, since I'm not strong enough, I can't get him over this little portion, so I can't push him off. So I had pretty much just decided, okay, it is what it is. I will try to push him anywhere I can, but that's all I could really do. Couldn't really do much with that, so I just ended my turn. He then goes over to kill her. He hits him pretty hard, but as long as I hit him and do some good damage right there, I would have killed him. Unfortunately, I missed with my primary attack. That's 3 times now that I've missed with my staff attack. Obviously, that trend can't continue, right? No, it doesn't. But we leave him with 2 HP. We have, mind you, we have 20 HP right now. So, we should be pretty good. And he gets a crit. And I don't know what that crit was, but it did a million damage. So I went back to this fight, did it again. This time I wasn't playing around. I was just frustrated that I lost to such an easy fight because of an unlucky crit and 3 misses on my part. So I decided to drink my potion of speed just to kill him real quick, because that's ridiculous. I can't believe I didn't pass that. I continued to just attack him, and yeah, I mean, I really was just a little frustrated because, you know, how could I have failed so bad the first time? I think my potion ran out this turn, so I was lethargic. I left him with 1 HP, and of course I miss no matter most. Right now I become lethargic, so I'm not going to be doing anything, and obviously she never hits a single rock. But when enemies use rocks on me, you know what? When enemies use rocks on me, they hit every single rock. They're like heat-seeking missiles. When I have an ally that uses an attack, most of the time their attack just misses. I think it's the game trying to spite me. I kill him, and then after that I'm able to level up. I get Fairy Fire for free, since I'm a drow, and then I get 1 more spell. I opted on getting Spike Growth. Later on I did change 1 other spell. I got rid of Thunder Wave, and I put on Moonbeam, because that's such a good spell. I then went over here to talk to him and try to get the coin from her, for no reason other than to say I took it from her.
Devils just can't stand to lose. Here. Now go back to the pit that made you.
She was very rude, but you know, I'll take that. Afterwards, I went over there to the trader. I just left him on the floor still, and all those items that I've been picking up, well, guess what? Look how much I had. Like, look at that. It's going like off of the bottom part. I had daggers, I had swords, scimitars, bows, all these things that I couldn't use. So I had quite a bit of items, and I think I ended up getting somewhere around like 580 gold. So it was a very, very profitable adventure so far. And he really doesn't have anything I necessarily want. He has some pretty okay scrolls, But the one I really want is from Damien. Damien has the hand crossbow, which, you know, I picked a drow so that I would be proficient in it. And next I take a
See
rest,
how you feel when your pack is
I
empty.
would be
It'll
able
be this or a
to
handful of weeds.
get a second one. So I would have double
As you
hand
down the
crossbows,
potion,
and
a comforting
they do
warmth
work
spreads through you.
I
with
swear, you're still as
they
peaky
do
looking.
work with my symbiotic abilities, so I was very excited for that. Right here, I'm
Oh,
just talking to
stop.
Auntie Ethel.
Even on a good day, half the camp
I'm just
acts
trying to
like a
get the
bunch
free
of
potion out of
screaming
her.
brats.
And then I trade her for, I believe I bought the potions of strength, because that'll be very helpful right here. Afterwards, I went to go pick up Will real quick to send to my
A
camp,
splendid plan.
just because
We'll
I
talk
don't
more
really
there.
need him right now. Maybe later. And then I talked to these guys and I told them just to
Common
leave,
sense at last.
because there's no
Let's get
reason
out of
they
this
need to
death trap.
die.
Or would you deny your brother here his chance at
Because
fortune in
later
Baldur's
on,
Gate?
he
Come on,
becomes
sis.
a
Well, let's have a
traitor in
target
Act
alone.
3,
We should leave.
which he'll be very valuable
Sneak away like
in that
goddamned
act.
cowards.
So I was just
But if
like,
something
okay,
happens
whatever.
to
I'm
these
just
people,
gonna
it's
let
on
them
us.
do their
I
thing.
hope you know that.
After they leave, I just continue to explore around the map. I then do a very nice magic trick. I actually can't believe I hit this dex roll.
Weeping, bleeding hell.
You know, just showing why I am
Maybe you don't need extra luck.
the
But
dark
since you're
urge,
already
because I'm
holding the
amazing
thing,
at
call
everything.
it heads or tails.
I then just pocket the ring. I guess I don't believe
Hey,
in
hold on, you
gambling.
gotta pay for that.
And
Fine,
I
keep
continue
it.
to
Call it a sample, yeah? But you gotta at least look at the other rings, okay? I gotta eat.
just deal with these dialogue checks. I look at stuff. Obviously I know
Really?
what happens.
I mean,
And
good.
then right here, I mess up. I mess up awfully.
That's what I got.
And I'll tell you later on what it affects, but pretty much I just locked myself out of what I would say is probably the best
Nothing caught your
ring in
eye.
the game. But I
You
digress. It is
suddenly
what it
feel
is.
something moving against your
I
back.
wanted to try
A
different
turn.
dialogue options, and I didn't think to save before this fight, or before this fight, no, before this dialogue, and I failed my detect thought. All I had to roll was a 10, and I rolled the 3, and it became a 2. I don't know why it lowered itself. I'm not sure what was going on there,
What are you doing?
but she was not having it, and then walked away. So it was
Hey,
not a
you here
good
to
thing.
trade or? Yeah, I know. I was standing right here telling her to rob you. I am sorry. Sorry we're still talking about this. Look, you caught her. Good for you. You aren't a chump like everyone else around here. Now, do me a favor. Make room for the chumps.
After that, I then went down further, and
Come,
once
Macklin,
again,
give him a
I
chance.
was
You step back. We'll not tolerate drow in here.
I was once again judged by the color of my skin. They've never seen a drow before with skin
Druid or not, you're
as
still an outsider
vibrant
to this
as
place.
mine. So I think they were
Entry is
intimidated by it.
forbidden.
Honestly,
A moment,
I think that's what really
Fiona.
happened.
What?
But
Why was she
anyway,
not one of them?
the story progresses, and you go talk
I suppose
anyway.
so. You,
So they just let you
Apparently
go on by,
Korga
which
wants
is no
to
big
see
problem
you.
at all.
go ahead.
So I walked on by. I went up to what I would say is my favorite companion. I love her so much.
Stars tonight. Smiles and pain will fade away. Words of mine will change. No. Become. More like butchering. Don't know why I bother. No, I'm moments away from a grisly death. At the hands of this bloody song. I can't. Nothing fits, you know? True. And when you finally perfect a song, there's nothing like it. But when you're stuck and it's just getting worse, ugh. It can't hurt. I have an extra loot, if you want. I'll start from the beginning. We'll take it slow. Dance upon the stars tonight. Smile and pain will fade away. Words of mine will turn to ash when you call the last light down. Moon reminds me of your grace, all the love I can't repay. Rest and know that I will pray. Farewell, my dear old friend.
Bravo.
Sorry.
I weep at your songs. But anyway, we were able to play a beautiful
Thanks.
song with her, and I did
That's
want
the
to talk to
first time
that
I've
part
played
because
since Lihala
I think
died.
she's one of those NPCs that
My
you
teacher.
don't talk over.
She was playing
You
her
listen
lute.
to her beautiful music as she serenades you.
Didn't hear the noise coming.
So honestly,
There was so
I
much
love that
blood.
song. I love her so much, but I'm
I
so
can still
sad
smell it.
about what's gonna happen. My dark urges
It was
only
awful.
increase because of her.
I couldn't look at a lute without hearing her
but
screaming.
It's
I'd
okay.
forgotten what it was like.
It'll be fine.
That itch to perfect a song. Keep the
So
lute.
we just continue
Please.
to go through
You've
the
earned
dialogue,
it.
and we do get a
The
free
Weeping
loot,
Dawn will
which
be my
gives us
gift to Lihala.
a free
a
loot
long way to
that
go.
allows us to basically
But
always
thank you.
succeed on a performance check.
I needed
It's
this.
very handy.
Too
Um,
sweet. Odiously sweet. The vomitous gall within despairs at your kindness.
Yes, my inner person doesn't like that. But she's the only person I'll ever be kind to. After that, we kind of jam out for a little bit because I was having a little rough time. And I just wanted to, feel something inside. Afterwards, I did go down because at this point, I still thought I was able to
Your favorite drownings will take
finish
place
the
in
quest for
shallow
Mole.
water.
But,
Just a Mississippi ankle tendons.
yeah, no, I'm not able to. It is so sad. So I'm just going through this. At least it's still, I guess, XP for killing these guys. All I need to do is,
A sweet
roll a
melody
check.
beckons you.
So that I
vibrates
am
with
not.
magic. A harpy's charm.
I would say incapacitated would be the best way to call it. It's a very easy check to do. You just need a 5, and since I have, a situation bonus, and then I also have guidance, it was no problem whatsoever because I have
The
pretty good
suffocating
wisdom.
yearning suddenly
And
fades
yes,
as the
I
spell
realized
breaks.
that
You
this
are
was
free.
gonna be a tiny bit of a hard fight.
No,
Um,
it's just a bit
because
of
I
water.
believe at this point
I only want to listen.
I forgot to get something.
Just a little
So
closer.
I knew it would be a little difficult, just because I'm by myself. And usually what you need to do is you need to break the concentration on her,
Everything's gonna
so
be
that
fine
he's able to
once
get away.
I get there.
But it is what it is. And so I start the fight. All the harpies come. There's about 4 in total. I lost the footage for the previous ones. I didn't die, but I lost the footage because my game forced stuff, so I had to come back down, and that's when I remembered to go get the spell Moonbeam. I did try doing something different. I instead attacked him because I wanted to incapacitate him, so that I wouldn't have to deal with him, but I low rolled apparently, and so he didn't get incapacitated. So it is what it is. I then just fought the harpies like usual. Moonbeam helps so much with this fight because a lot of them are really dumb with the AI, and so he moved out of it and then tried to fly through it for some reason. So I was very thankful for that. He's just trying to run away. I then continue to just fight all the harpies. just attacking them like normal. Right now I still have my buff up. But as you can see, I'm actually missing quite a bit of hits on pretty much everyone. And that's going to be a theme for a lot of the things. My weapon attacks are very weak. And that's why it's going to be a little bit better once I start using my dex weapon. So my Shalalal will not be very much useful for long. This fight obviously was pretty easy. The harpies grouped up a lot, so I was just able to just, you know, slowly whittle them down. Moonbeam killed a lot of them. I actually got a low roll on that, and he lived somehow because I only did 2 damage. But as you can see, we're gonna win. Like, there's very little chance. You know, we killed the main guy. We're about to kill this guy too with our spores, and then we're gonna move the moonbeam over to the last guy. Just so that we could, you know, start doing some good damage, because as you could see, that did 30 damage in one attack, and that's something that we won't be able to do with our normal things unless it's with hand crossbows. Right now we're just continuing to loot around. We had to do some jumps, and we were able to get to this little part right here. We went to go pick up the letter as well. It was a "I'm sorry" letter over to these guys. I'm not sure who Edmund is and stuff like that, but I picked it up anyway. You never know what you're gonna need it for. I then went back down to the main quest area, as I still needed to talk to Kalga, just so I could free the little girl from the serpent. And again, I failed to realize that it just didn't matter. So I went through this little part. I actually love this part so much because I think the snake is so cool.
Please.
I passed the check very easily. It wasn't a hard check at all. You know, since I'm a druid, I have advantage naturally. And so I just continued to do it, and then eventually, yeah, I mean, I passed and that was it.
My grace has its limits.
Thank you, Korga. Master Halsin.
Halsin isn't here. Keep his name off your tongue.
Yeah, after that, I tried to attack her little friends. This was a mistake because apparently it didn't matter
Sharp intelligence behind its eyes.
that I tried to attack them, because even with me doing that, Kalga is like, no bro, like he's betraying us, you know. And so yeah, it was kind of a fail because I had to fight Kalga and 2 other druids, which honestly the other ones weren't hard. It's just Kalga herself that's actually a bit of the hard one, because she does get Moonbeam. I did try this, I think, 3 separate times, and it was just kind of a little bit of a mess. I tried different ways to, you know, do this, but every time she would just cast Moonbeam, and since I'm not that strong, I would die. So that was the first try. I tried again. I did try to use animal speak on these rats to see if I could, you know, talk to any of them. All of them just continues to look at me. I feel like the best way, if you want to go on this route, the best way is to pick up the letter and then go to the spot that it tells you to go to, over there in the swamp, and then coming back, because as you can see, I tried every which way I could. I tried attacking him and then using a spell afterwards, but he just walks away anyway. And I would just continue to slowly get killed by these guys. I would walk out of the moonbeam. I would, you know, use spike growth to break her concentration, and I would try to push her into the spike growth, so she had to walk through the spike growth and do some decent damage to her. But basically everything I did was just not successful whatsoever, so it was kind of a little bit of a bummer, just going through these fights and just seeing that it wasn't gonna work. So this is just another failure, I can tell you that right away. But, you know, I'm trying any way I can, but as you can see that I'm pretty much gonna die once again as soon as she gets her attack her turn. I think I attack her right here. Trying to figure out what is the best way to do some damage to her. I think I use a potion, then I try to push her that I immediately forgot. So I just attack her like normal because I'm just like, okay, well, there's not much else I can do. I broke her concentration and then I died because she just cast Moonbeam as soon as it was her turn again. So I just gave up on that idea after I think the third attempt. I didn't show it. I went over to this chest, and since I don't have really good lock picking, I just hit it. Because why lock pick when you could just smack a chest to go pick up the note for later, because it's not gonna matter right now.
At the ready.
Just because I don't have any proof yet that she is evil. So I just, you know, read the notes so that I get the quest and I continue on my way. Just, you know, going back through, making sure I pick up all the quests and stuff like that. Since I saved that little boy, I can now talk to him, and he'll let me into the dragon's den. And this is kind of where I find out
He
that
nods,
I was
then reaches for a concealed hatch.
gonna not be able to get what I came here for. So it was kind of sad. I go down here and I talk to Mole like usual, because I always talk to Mole.
Who's come to visit? My kids say you've been busy since you got here. Messing with our business. Yeah? You scared the life out of little Sylphie.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to pay for it.
I was like, oh man, but I did know there was a persuasion, so I did try to do that, obviously, just because I was like, okay, well, I still have the chance to do the quest line as long as I get this. I succeeded.
Is that right?
Thankfully.
Fine. You get one more chance.
And this
done here.
is bugged.
Get lost.
So you see how she says you get one more chance, and then says it'll always happen.
Any reason?
There's you know Larian. So after that, I decided I was done. It was failure after failure on my part. I feel like I had gotten nothing done, so I decided I gotta play the loot.